In 1967, an organization called the MMF, or Manitoba Métis Federation, was created to highlight the problems of political representation, cultural preservation, and land claims. Because of these issues, it has always been a source of stress between Métis and the Canadian government. The MMF is known as the official democratic government of the Red River Métis. The Manitoba Métis Federation provides a variety of services and programs. It looks to assist economic development, cultural preservation, health, education, housing, and child-family services. The MMF can adopt laws. It can also represent its citizens dealing with provincial, federal, and international governments, as the MMF is the government of the Red River Métis. In the 1700s and 1800s, the Métis came as a distinct political people. They migrated outwards in all directions from the Red River settlement. An important event related to Métis history was the Battle of Seven Oaks, which Métis described as La Victoire de la Grenouillère, the victory at Frog Plain. Around 1816 in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Hudson's Bay Company settlers fought with the Northwest Company's Métis allies over trading rights. A specific item that the Métis trade and supply was pemmican. Pemmican was essential for fur traders. The Hudson Bay Company tried to restrict Métis from trading and supplying it. The conflict between 60 Métis, led by Cuthbert Grant, the Hudson Bay Company, caused the deaths of 21 Hudson Bay Company men. This conflict solidified the Métis identity as a notable political force. It also highlighted an important moment of the Métis resistance against colonial authority. The Red River Resistance in 1869-70 also solidified Métis identity. The Métis people living in the Red River settlement were against the transfer of Rupert's land from Hudson Bay Company to the expanding Dominion of Canada. Rupert's land included the Red River areas and where the Métis lived. The Métis wanted negotiations in regards to the guarantees and transfer of their rights. The Métis created a provisional government, Manitoba itself, under the leadership of Louis Riel, to discuss the protection of rights and land ownership with the Government of Canada. As a result, the Manitoba Act of 1870 was created. This turned Manitoba into a province. The act also promised land and protections for the Métis. However, the Métis were cheated by the Canadian government, as this was proven by the Manitoba Métis Federation case in 2013 by the Supreme Court of Canada. So the promises to the Métis were not met. Decades following after the creation of Manitoba, various government bodies were created by the Métis, one of which included the Union Nationale Métis Saint-Joseph du Manitoba, that was created in 1887. Métis political organization went underground due to persecution and racism during the start of the 1900s. During the 1930s, a wave of political mobilization led to the rise of local regional associations in the western part of Canada. One of the notable associations in Manitoba was the Northern Half-Breed Association, which represented Métis and non-status Indigenous peoples. Most of the Métis political activity during the 1950s and 1960s happened alongside non-status Indigenous peoples. These political activities happen through the annual Indian and Métis conferences, which are sponsored by the Community Welfare Planning Council of Winnipeg. The sidelining of Métis-specific issues during these events took part in the creation of a Métis-specific political organization, the Manitoba Métis Federation, in 1967. In 1967, the formation of the MMF was part of a larger resurgence of Indigenous activism in Canada. Throughout the 1960s and 1970s, Métis and other Indigenous communities wanted to recover their cultures, land, and rights. The initial goals for the Manitoba Métis Federation incorporated securing land promised under the Manitoba Act, promoting Métis culture and identity, and improving the socio-economic conditions of Métis. The organization first started with 5 members on its board of directors and 7 staff. Today, the MMF evolved into a government with affiliated organizations making up over more than 1,000 employees representing 50,000 registered people. During 1983, the MMF became a founding member of the Métis National Council, or MNC, along with Métis Nation Saskatchewan and the Otipemisiwak Métis government, Métis Nation of Alberta. Decades later, in 2021, the MMF withdrew from the Métis National Council due to worries concerning the recognition of non-Métis in other Métis National Council affiliates. So the Manitoba Métis Federation no longer recognizes the authenticity of the Métis National Council as a representative entity for the Métis Nation. The MMF is a grassroots democracy, meaning that it makes its political processes, decisions, and authority are usable to the lowest geographic or social level of organization. They are neighborhood associations or community-level associations. People are represented by an elected board which is made up of a chair, vice chair, and secretary or treasurer. Locals are grouped into 7 areas which a vice president speaks for, and board staff are elected by nearby Métis residents. 2 regional executive officers and individual vice presidents from each 7 areas form part of the Manitoba Métis Federation cabinet. Also, the Manitoba Métis Federation cabinet features the national president, spokeswoman of the Infinity Women's Secretariat, and other ministers responsible for specific responsibilities such as health, education, and economic development. Every cabinet minister has specific jobs tied to their responsibilities. These jobs focus on the MMF's goals. Officials are voted by Métis citizens who decide. Residents supply policy direction to their government at annual assemblies. The membership and governance essentials to join the MMF are highlighted in its constitution and regulations. These documents are occasionally changed by the annual General Assembly to look back at its evolving requirements. At the start, membership was open to those people of mixed Indigenous ancestry. In 1992, these requirements were changed, restricting membership to individuals whose great-great-great-grandparents had received Métis scrip, or land grants in Manitoba. During 2003, the Manitoba Métis Federation acquired the Métis National Council's national definition. Because of this definition, this requires members to self-identify as Métis, who have proven ancestry links to the historic Métis community, and be welcomed by the contemporary Métis. In the present day, the Manitoba Métis Federation speaks for Red River Métis people from all over the original historic homeland and even beyond. Manitoba Métis Federation people can run and vote as candidates in nearby, local and provincial MMF elections. They can also participate in general assemblies and in MMF events or activities. The MMF's electoral process is supervised by a chief electoral officer. This role has historically been occupied by prominent personalities, including retired chief justices of Manitoba.